The first update we have today is on the heated on-air spat between Dorinda Medley and Kiki Monique. Okay, so let's get into how this whole Real Housewives of Orange County mess spilled over onto the radio, right? It actually caused a pretty big blow-up between Dorinda Medley and Kiki Monique on their Sirius XM show, Reality Checked. So the whole thing really kicked off because of this RHOC rumor, involving Tamra Judge, Gretchen Rossi, and Katie Janela. Basically, it boiled down to whether Katie told Kiki that Gretchen accused Tamra of drugging her. Now, Katie did say Gretchen made the accusation, okay, but she flat out denied telling Kiki about it. Kiki, though, she's like, nope, that's not true. You told me. Things got heated on their radio show when Dorinda kind of seemed to praise Katie for, sticking to her guns about what she claimed Gretchen said. Well, Kiki wasn't having it. She jumped right in, bringing up how Katie denied telling her about the whole Gretchen thing to begin with. And it escalated fast when Dorinda then suggested Kiki didn't sound like she enjoyed the RHOC episode they were discussing. Kiki shot back immediately, saying something like, "Whoa, I think you're putting emotions on me that I just don't have." Dorinda pushed back hard. Like, absolutely not. I'm not putting emotions on you. I'm just giving my opinion on whether you enjoyed the episode. It all ended pretty abruptly, with Dorinda basically saying she's allowed to have an opinion and telling Kiki, let's not try to shove it off on me. And get this, after that whole argument went down on the air Tuesday, Dorinda was apparently missing from the show on Wednesday. So yeah, basically an RHOC fight about who said what about Tamra Judge blew up into Dorinda and Kiki going at it over emotions and opinions right there on their own show.
Kiki's. I'm fine. I think you're putting emotions on me that I don't have. I'm just reacting as a normal person would.
I'm not putting, taking it personally. No. I'm not putting any emotions on you.
I was just telling you how I feel in that situation.
But I am certainly, let me tell you something, Kiki. I am not putting any emotions on you. I think you're doing a great job putting emotions on yourself, okay? We just had a discussion, so don't start putting blame on me. So, because I'm not doing that here.
Who's blaming you?
Did you just not say I'm putting emotions on you? Absolutely not.
You said no. It seems like you didn't enjoy the episode.
That's an opinion. It seemed like you didn't enjoy. I didn't say it seems like you're putting emotions on this episode and not enjoying it. I said it didn't seem like you enjoyed the episode. My opinion. That's it. I get to have an opinion. That's it.
Okay, great.
And so that's all I did with that. Let's not try to shove it off on me. Anyway.
Before we get into the next update, I need to check in with you all. If you're enjoying our little tea session, take a millisecond to hit the like button and subscribe to join the best reality TV community on YouTube. Done? Let's move on to next update now. Next, we're going to talk about why Brittany Cartwright split from Brandon Hansen and a recent clarification she made about her post-surgery recovery. So yeah, just days after Brittany confirmed her new relationship ended, some insiders kind of shed light on why that whirlwind romance was just, tough to keep going. Okay, so Brittany herself talked about it on her podcast, When Reality Hits, back on October 10th. She called it a whirlwind, right? And said it kind of went public way faster than they planned. The main issue? Turns out it was mostly the distance. They lived like 3 hours apart. And Brandon apparently has a lot going on, 3 kids, jobs, the whole deal. Brittany felt it just wasn't going to work long term, especially since she mentioned she still needs a lot of healing after filing for divorce from Jax Taylor back in August. And, people close to her kind of backed this up, saying the distance and all those obligations were just too much. They also pointed out she recognized pretty quickly it wasn't sustainable, showing some real personal growth there, deciding to focus on her own happiness and her son, Cruz. Good for her, honestly. Oh, and totally separate thing, she also hopped on her Instagram story recently. She had that mommy makeover surgery, remember? Well, she needed to clear something up because people got confused when she mentioned having her tubes removed. She clarified she was actually talking about surgical drains. She just jokingly called them tubes. So, she wanted everyone to know her fallopian tubes are definitely still there. And quick reminder, The Valley Season 3 should be hitting Bravo early next year. So this was today's update about Brittany Cartwright. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent arrest of Aaron Pfeifers, Denise Richards' estranged husband. So things really took a dramatic turn this past week. Aaron Pfeifers actually got picked up by police right inside a Los Angeles courtroom. This was Friday, October 17th. He was there for a court hearing, the one where Denise is trying to make her temporary restraining order against him permanent. But turns out he was arrested right on the spot. Why? Well, because of an outstanding felony domestic violence warrant that Denise had filed. And the accusations she's made in court are pretty severe. She's accused Aaron of giving her a black eye, and she provided photos of the injury, plus causing her 3 concussions. What's really striking here is that Aaron's own cousin testified in court. They stated that they personally saw Aaron give Denise that black eye, and even heard him threaten to kill her. Wow. Now, Pfeiffer's attorney confirmed the arrest. Yeah, but they're claiming Aaron didn't even know about the warrant. They allege that Denise and her lawyers basically set him up. This whole thing just adds another layer to their divorce battle, which has been pretty contentious since Aaron filed back in July. Remember, it already involves not just these accusations from Denise, but also Aaron leaking texts and photos, which he claims illuminates an alleged affair she had. So this was today's update about the arrest of Aaron Pfeiffer's. Let's now move on to next update.
Okay, next up, we are going to talk about Andy Cohen's reaction to the Wendy Osefo fraud arrest claims. So Andy Cohen, the host of Watch What Happens Live, he's now addressed, for a second time actually, the really serious legal troubles facing Wendy Osefo from Real Housewives of Potomac and her husband Eddie. We're talking accusations of financial fraud, even a staged robbery. Now, Andy confirmed pretty recently on October 16th that he actually hasn't spoken directly with Wendy or her family since all this news broke. But despite that, he was really quick to show his support. He stated quite clearly that he loves Wendy, loves Eddie, and he really hopes they come out of this situation okay. He also talked about being genuinely shocked when the claims first came out. He admitted he was just as surprised as anybody when he saw the TMZ news that Friday morning. And, he spoke really highly of Wendy's time on the show, saying she's been a great role model, always leading with her education and her family values. This kind of builds on what he'd said just a few days earlier, back on October 13th on SiriusXM, where he mentioned he was sad about it all and was really hoping the whole thing would turn out to be some big nothing. And finally, Andy also commented on how some of the other cast members, like Ashley Darby and Mia Thornton, have been seen kind of poking fun at Wendy in these arrest claims. He definitely signaled some concern for the family involved there, noting that, look, while the women can say what they want, everyone should remember there is a family and, real people involved in this whole thing. So this was today's update about Andy Cohen's comments on the Osefo family. Let's now move on to the next update. Next, we are going to talk about the recent drama surrounding Alexis Bellino and her new husband, John Jansen, following a bizarre online post. Okay, so Alexis recently tied the knot with John Jansen down in Laguna Beach. Now, there's a bit of history there, right? John used to date her co-star, Shannon Beador. And yeah, he actually ended up suing Shannon later on. So that's kind of the backdrop. Anyway, things got really weird this week. There's this fan account on Facebook, Below Deck Fans News, apparently, and on October 16th, they shared this post claiming Alexis put up some disturbing video. Seriously, the post alleged it showed John in a total drunken ragey, yelling, cursing, even physically assaulting her. Can you believe that? It even claimed Alexis looked hurt, like bruises and swelling near her eye, and said she was going to divorce him immediately. Well, Alexis wasn't having any of it. She jumped right onto Instagram and just slammed the whole thing. Called it idiotic with zero credibility. She made it super clear, stressing that she and John haven't even had a verbal fight, let alone anything physical. And that photo, the one supposedly showing her injured, Alexis explained that picture is actually from like 5 years ago. It was a boating accident, way before she even knew John. So completely unrelated. Wild, right? Now she's definitely not letting this go. Alexis confirmed her attorney is already on it, trying to get that, quote, horrible defamation account shut down. And yeah, they're looking into filing a lawsuit over it. Oh, and just quickly, remember there was also that other bit of drama earlier in the week about Heather Dubrow skipping the wedding? Heather said she had a parents' weekend and felt it was complicated because of her friendship with Shannon Beador. Alexis apparently found that explanation kind of awkward and weird and admitted she was pretty perplexed by the whole thing. So this was today's update about Alexis Bellino's response to the defamation claim. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about Lisa Barlow and what she's been saying lately about, her marriage and some drama with her castmates on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay, so this kind of clarifies things after that cryptic psychic reading we saw, right? Where the psychic asked Lisa why she felt she was rebuilding trust with her husband, John Barlow. And yeah, Lisa got pretty emotional, started crying right there on camera. Well, Lisa later talked about this in an interview. She was really emphatic, saying the issue isn't about rebuilding trust, it's actually about communication. She stressed John is absolutely her person, her forever.
It's not about rebuilding trust, it's about communication. And John Barlow is perfect to me. He's my person, he's my forever.
But she did admit there have been some major disconnects over the last year. You know, with her son Jack gone, her other son Henry growing up, and their businesses expanding, she's worried they might be growing apart instead of together. She said these are really raw and real feelings, kind of questioning if the relationship is working the same way it used to work. All right, and then there's the co-star drama that popped up around the same time. During the season, Angie Katzeneva seemed to accuse Lisa of encouraging her to dig for dirt on Lisa's friend, Meredith Marks. Now, Meredith appeared to believe Lisa's denial on the show. But Lisa, she strongly clapped back later on TikTok. She wrote, "I have never dug up anything on anyone." You could tell she was frustrated being accused of stuff she denies doing, but then she kind of threw this out there. I can tell you who does dig, though. So this was today's update about Lisa Barlow's relationship status with John and her strong denial of those castmate accusations. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we're going to talk about why Candiace Dillard Bassett unfollowed Porsha Williams. Yeah, even though they're both cast on the upcoming season 4 of The Traitors. So both these ladies are, part of the Bravo world. And yeah, they're on the cast list together for Traitors. But Candiace actually revealed on our podcast, Undomesticated, that they basically entered the castle already divided. She made it clear she'd unfollowed Porsha before they even started filming Traitors. And it was because she saw some clips going around on social media from RHOA season 16. Candy said the whole thing boils down to this pretty shocking comment Porsha made during that season 16 Nashville trip. Okay, so what Porsha apparently said was that she should F Charles, meaning Charles Oakley, who's married to Angela Oakley. Now, Candiace kind of acknowledged that, look, people say crazy things on these intense cast trips, sometimes it's edited weirdly, but she really condemned this particular remark. She said using adultery, threatening to sleep with another woman's husband, as a way to get back at someone, it just blew her mind. She was kind of like, why is this the go-to now, instead of, throwing a drink or just cussing someone out? And Candiace then sort of connected her feelings about it to, what everyone knows about Porsha's own relationship history. So this was today's update about Candiace Dillard Bassett and Porsha Williams' conflict leading into The Traitors. Let's now move on to the next update. Okay, next we are going to talk about Kyle Richards, all right? Because there's quite a bit happening with her, covering both some recent sightings and her looking back at some pretty fiery Real Housewives history. So first off, all the talk about her and country singer Morgan Wade? Well, Kyle was just spotted at Morgan's concert up in Canada. This was September 30th. Apparently, she was in the crowd wearing a black fedora, and yeah, she was seen filming Morgan during the performance. And get this, a source mentioned that while Kyle and Morgan didn't really interact directly during the whole 90-minute set, Kyle supposedly had her eyes just glued to the singer, which, just keeps fueling all that fan speculation about them being maybe more than friends. Though hey, neither Kyle nor Morgan has actually confirmed anything like that. But okay, at pretty much the same time, Kyle was also doing an Amazon Live session. And she started reflecting on her time on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She actually called season 4 her least favorite season, describing her experience with former castmate Carlton Gebbia as just horrible and really negative. A lot of that drama, if you remember, was around Carlton opening up about her Wicca faith, which Kyle admitted kind of weirded her out back then. And things got really intense, like when co-star Joyce Gerard accused Carlton of casting a spell that allegedly made Joyce's husband, Michael, seriously ill. Heavy stuff. Now, digging back, Carlton had her own say about all this in an old Bravo blog post. She wrote that Kyle's behavior towards her felt extremely calculated and claimed she saw Kyle for who she really is from day one, even suggesting Kyle lived in a make-believe world.